sciences, and spirituality. They let a feminine know what she already knew the moment she laid eyes on you. You are beautiful just the way you are. And this is for all of you who understand attachment and trauma information. And so you will know of the shame button. Any person who has that first year of life with no secure attachment, and any person who has those first 3 years of life with no secure attachment, and any person who does not heal their childhood trauma, and any person who does not get their diagnosis so that they can have a sense of self lens and then get support. Okay, so the people who are in the need to get to their beautiful self, they can in this lovely day and era and time, thanks to sciences that shares with those of us who are feminines what we already knew as people that are of true faith, and that is where spirituality is. With Jesus that taught it to me, God taught it to me. You're all my brothers and sisters. And I didn't turn my face away from God or what I got taught. I did turn my face away from those that are institutions of any type that want to tell me, a person that is a feminine, that they know of Lucifer, demons, or devils, and that we lack imagination. I'm going to say they lack education. They lack their feminine. In fact, I'm going to say they're the ones who got captured by I don't know who, but they're being contained. They're also being nurtured some story, and they're being limited like those gender stereotypes and the men and women ones, yeah, and any of that shame stuff. Shame, blame, fault, revenge. Okay, so I'm going to break it down. You're beautiful just the way you are, because being yourself means that you will have claimed your inner child adult. Otherwise, you don't do spiritual self-help, personal development. You don't do feminine stuff at all, clairs or no clairs, because you can't be a feminine if you don't have your clear consciousness yet. Clear consciousness is with a body and a brain that has the restorative embodiment, self-aware, accountable, and regulating person. It's your mammalian heritage. Sciences proves what spirituality taught me, which is every person is a child of the same cloth, and that free will comes the moment of your yes being presented with an opportunity. However, if you have borderline personality lens or narcissism lens or sociopathy lens or psychopathy lens, you will not know. If you don't know of that lens, I am aware of it now. If you have dissociative identity disorder and disorganized attachment and you don't know of your alters, so you dissociate clinically, but not just the clinical dissociation. You actively have alters, states that are different than just one. And I know of Patrick McNamara, neuroscientist. Thank you for that, Patrick. All of your information that you're still building. Quantitative, no. Quantitative, yes. I don't know about qualitative, but my point is quantitative and qualitative makes a difference. I think it's quantitative, but I didn't double check. But I do know Cian Porches is doing quantitative, and this is not to build it up into a proof of no. I'm not the researcher. I'm the pseudoscience lady. Remember that. My point is, though, a feminine, which is where we're at here, is knowing in my heart of hearts that you're beautiful just the way you are. And Patrick McNamara and Bezel Vanderkolk and Cian Porches and all of those who I've learned from in the past 2+ years have taught me what I already knew, thanks to Jesus and God, is that you're human too. And that the Lucifer thing, like I told God, I don't see it, and I can actively, as a mystic, say, yeah, the only people who have unfortunate business going on are the maladaptive child pattern behaviors, people who don't know that they have a shame cycle and they don't go and get good therapy. They don't know about dissociation. No, they might know about it. They don't want therapy because they're afraid of the therapists, which is in fact what I got confirmed with people who do have some knowingness and they're able to manage themselves, and they did do some therapy, but they still will not tell their therapist about their alters. And of course, I share with them the updated information that I have. I'm not the one who has the states of self that are afraid because of those who are bad therapists who do not believe in supporting people in the way that the good therapists are. So we're still in the midst of change. Thankfully, sciences and spirituality, they're buddies. And that's why, again, as a feminine, I can say I was so happy when I laid eyes on all this information. And then I said, wow, they're all saved. Nobody needs any of us mystics because there's all these great scientists, people who know about humanity's goodness without shame because they can get integrated and back to their birthright, that restorative embodiment self. And I was like, "Aw, so I'm not needed." Wait a minute, but that means I'm free. I'm free to be whatever I want to be. No, I'm not free in that way, but yes, I'm free, meaning that I'm not needed as a person. You can do mindfulness, mindset, and mindset with good therapists. And then you can also continue it with self-help and personal development. So that's why you are a creature of habit. So I'm needed if you want to be held into. I will make you aware. I will make you accountable. I will make you regulate. That's my job. If I'm a life coach for you, if I'm a mentor, you think I'm going to have you slacking? I don't do slackers. Nope. Ask anyone if I'm a slacker. You will have the capacity to understand that some of us don't joke. We don't know how to joke. But we do have a sense of humor. No, we don't. Maybe, it depends. Okay, so you're beautiful just the way you are because transformation is fun for the ones who want to actively be their own feminine and their own masculine, right? Yes, yes. Okay, why? Because they like to renew their emotional commitment to you. And so when people are doing heart-to-heart conversations, they are in safe haven, secure-based relationships. And that's because they persevere on having that in-depth, lovely conversation, which is why at IHP we heal trauma one person at a time, one relationship at a time, because we bring forth the commitment of those of us who have healthy self-worth. And so feminine will be an enlightened person, not the Zen master who has laundry. Enlightenment, you can actively be an open heart. Your host is here, even when I have a tummy ache, even when I have my panic attacks. I'm consistently a whole self. My name's Maria. What's your name? So wholeness comes when you know your self lens. And again, if there's borderline personality, narcissism, psychopathy, sociopathy, if they're with good therapists, you'll know DID and disorganized attachment. Every single one of these groups is healable. There are those healing. They're not romanticizing or basically crying a river every time they talk. That person who are crying rivers, yes, they don't know about this thing called truth and fairness, and they don't have the intelligence yet because they're not becoming more resilient. No, they're not yet putting into practice the intelligence of self-regulation skills. Okay, so when you see those who are self-regulating, it's because they're accountable and aware. So they do mindfulness, mindset, and mindset, and they might be here at Inner Growth Mindset with you and I, but they will be beautifully imperfect and flawed like all of us with integrity. Okay, and so we know this beautiful proverb. Let me switch it up a little bit for us, though. We're going to talk about it as feminine and masculine. So a feminine's highest calling is to lead a masculine to their soul. And so that's to your heart, your inner child. Okay, the self of you is how we're going to begin to modify it. So as to unite the masculine, remember that, Rabbi? You have one feminine, and then there's 39 different ways the masculine can tap into the infinite potential of their own life. But if they don't ground in their feminine, nothing comes of it. The unfortunate business of the masculine is that they don't want, when they're in a shame button. Masculines have shame, feminine does not. And if you get the both yin-yang extremes, you're going to find one knows no shame, the other knows all shame, and if they get to the middle, they'll learn how to be a whole human being. It's something very different. You can ask questions if you're curious. I just know how to explain it to you this way. So shame button people, I'll know who they are. Again, we talked about it. They all follow a leader like Peter Pan and Wendy. You'll hear them. And so the actual feminine is your inner child. Get to your higher self. Become the adult version of you after Terry Real or Patrick Tiahan if you need them. So you know how to love yourself first, which is why you don't need to keep a man or a woman or anyone by the string. And no one talks to you and say, they all know everything. You're more like, wow, Maria, look at all this funny business that's happening out there. Okay, that's where we're at here at IHP. Okay, so the lowest calling of the feminine, which is that inner child with shame. So this is why the lowest calling of the feminines, the one with clairs, yes, they don't have wholeness. You'll notice they're like the squirrel from Cusco. So the feminines, you can equate that to martyrs, superiors, or blamers, and the squirrel from Cusco land. Right now, for now, this is how we're going to organize it so you can also have a visual. Okay. So the lowest calling of a feminine is to seduce, separating the masculine, the mind. And here's where now our left mode makes up some bullshit story. So your bullshit story didn't come from you. It came from how you were handled at home. Remember, Terry Real? Yeah. So you're unfinished business when you don't have the feminine of you and the masculine of you, and you have a shame button, a blame, a fault, a revenge. That's the adaptive child. There's a Cusco with a squirrel. Yes. So here's where you're going to spite others based on whatever it is and however it is you were held at home. So I was held with equanimity. So I know how to use an equanimous voice with my potential romantic partners. I don't do the silent treatment. I will talk to you. Then I will not leave it alone until you talk to me. If you don't talk to me, then I know you've made a conscious choice, and I will not try to make you talk to me. And I will be able to leave and be okay because I have 2 hands and 2 feet. I have no shame button. Okay, so feminine and a masculine, a whole person and no shame. It's called I have secure attachment, healthy self-worth. My name's Maria. I got a tail and I got powers and I'm polyamory. Anyone want anything else? Anything else? A mystic. I have powers again. I surround people with therapists near a volcano. And then I have people come in my dreams all the time, not just sometimes. And Akashic record reader, you name it. My entire adobe is full of fun. Okay, so I travel too. I'm never in the same spot once. And that's exactly why only healthy self-worth people have fun in the lovely polyamory crew. Yes, apparently the ones who don't have fun, they're masochists. And I hope that they get a good therapist so that they can have an actual enjoyable time as they want to love more people, not less. You know what I mean? So, okay. Hold on. Let me finish. So the lowest calling of the feminine is to seduce, separating the masculine from the self, the soul. So your left mode, when it makes up bullshit that you were spoken to by others, and that inner critic that you keep on having, an outer critic. Okay. Structural dissociation, potential alters. Okay. Potential inner and outer critic. It's on a continuum until you get it taken care of with good therapy. And then you come around for, again, the sciences and spirituality of IHP. It's great to have you on board. Keep on listening. And then leaving them aimlessly to wander. So the fucking, drinking, drugging, people who have contempt, disgust after fucking each other and shame, they're all the ones that have masculine, feminine, imbalanced energies. So there are people who could use good therapy. Straightforward? Cool. Good. Okay, so it's not to be romanticized or demonized. We don't need to call New Age Lucifer. I found out that some of the mystics are calling us New Agers Lucifer. Yoga demons, New Ager, Lucifer, spiritual bullshit. Wow, like they can't keep coming up with the same insults. It's amazing. They obviously don't know about attachment trauma. Again, I don't know why they don't know of, they don't believe in Stephen Porges, Bezel van der Kolk, or any of that updated stuff. I forgot. Okay, so the masculine's highest calling is to protect the feminine. So that means my mind protects me, my heart, and my gut. See? Very straightforward. It's called secure attachment. My 1-year-old, my child parts. I'm all here. I don't get offended. It's not personal. I'm not joking right now. Of course I have emotions. I just like to have fun with them. Okay? So this is my point. When you have a feminine, divine, masculine, divine, and then masculine, feminine, but you're in harmony, it's called I have the restorative embodiment, self-aware, accountable, and regulating Maria for you. Don't you know that I wouldn't be teaching and or mentoring and or doing any mindfulness mindset if I didn't know how to apply it myself? I would not be able to do true spirituality or enlightenment journey if I didn't apply it and embody it. Right here, Purusha, embody. Unconditional love is beautiful. Come and join. Well-being is not fucking boring. It's fucking amazing. You don't need anyone. You just sit here and you're like, wow, I'm amazed. I'm not kidding. You know how to use, I'm sorry, I forgot. A solo poly knows how to use the 24 hours. I forgot to mention that. We have very successful, busy, intellectually and emotionally stimulating, because we're always on a high. It's called the land of blissfulness and delight. When I get my panic attacks, I'm getting better with being less afraid. And I'm not kidding. Or when I have a really, really awful day, like when I'm afraid I'm going to physically die because I live in a place where sometimes I have earthquakes happening, and that makes me very scared in ways that I don't like. But, I say that I spent today as a mortal being in the exact way I could have, in the best way. Yes. Yes, I did, because I get to be with my herd. I don't get all my herd. All my herd, no, but I can't impose on people. You know how that works. So, the masculine's lowest calling is to ambush and force their way into the life of a feminine. And luckily, for those of us who have a mind that is grounded in our inner growth mindset and humanity, we don't have any of like the inner critic shit. No, it's not that. It's, hey, I got thoughts. Oh, look, I got emotions. Oh, look, I got life. Oh, look, you're beautiful just the way you are. Oh, look, I got twin flames. Ooh, I got soulmates. Oh, I got an oversoul. And so we have fun. See? Sciences, spirituality. It lets a feminine like myself and any true feminine know that which we already knew from the moment that we laid eyes on you. You are beautiful, just the way you are. Join us here so that you can be yourself with your flaws and integrity, with imperfections and integrity. That means you don't go yelling in people's faces. Healthy self-worth people, we don't go telling anyone what they are. That's for the low self-esteem ones that are martyrs and superiors. They block each other, they unfriend each other, they insult each other, they don't know how to talk about different political parties actively and different law opinions actively. I'm not kidding. I have people I get to talk to. They're smart. And that's mentally and emotionally. Otherwise, they're not smart. Intelligence comes when you have a feminine and a masculine on board. It's called the wholeness of you. So you know exactly how to have a very good time. Moderate drinking, yes. Moderate, the fucking depends on who it is we choose. And that's actively the people who are very much, what's the word? Yes, we're selective. Oh, it's not because we're better. It's because we actively are selective. We wield who we want to fuck. And it's based on a lot of things. Meaning, are you an independent, conscious lover? Do you have fear? Are you your higher self? That means, are you a fearful person or are you a lover person? And you will actually know of your true twin flames and your soulmates, by the way. That's where it's beautiful to actively, again, share with you. Sciences, spirituality comes together. When you don't need a Terry Real, that's when you're going to be a man or a woman or a they in the book of a conscious lover. Means you don't project any of that Cusco stuff. Yeah, no. We don't do liar, liar, pants on fire. That is going to be something we're going to treat with our gloves. As a feminine, I don't capture anyone. That's for the people who want to have a good boy, good girl, good day. Yeah, we don't capture you. It's very disrespectful to talk to another piece of life as if they're mine. It's objectifying. Not to mention, I didn't want a baby. That's not partner material, you know what I mean? Like me babying you into knowing how to handle Shiva, that darkness. Hello, my friend. Yeah, meaning and meaninglessness. I don't know how to explain this one. No, I do. It's called the feminine. A real feminine is going to understand that you have the capacity to be a conscious masculine who chooses to want to tap into the infinite higher human conscious potential of you all by yourself. Otherwise, you're not a true masculine yet because you don't got your inner child. Science is spirituality. You can be yourself when you have all your child parts, and there's no Lucifer to blame for the people who have shame. It's called transgenerational trauma, cultural trauma. The only ones who keep on making up stories are the ones who don't want to accept sciences. Yet they're not flat earthers. And so, with that being said, I've seen the mystics and what they're doing. I'm, as a mystic, here to share with you what a 5D mystic can tell you about true spirituality over here. Okay, obviously, I don't know all of the in-depth data from all those textbooks because that's the part. If you want regurgitation of material, now that's a different story. Go to those who regurgitate your material. I'm telling you, if you want to hear what those of us who are connected to this lovely source, spirit, universe, the essence of love and life, that which we are all a part of. It's an actual intelligence made of love. Universal love transmission sessions. I'm a Reiki master. Anything that is of faith, and anyone who is of faith will know of the infinite unconditional love of that which is the creation, creator. Flaws and imperfections were never meant to stay as if you are supposed to be ashamed of our own human race and species, of our own genders, of our own lifestyles, of all of it. The shame thing comes from our lovely ancestors, evolutionary psychologists. If you get educated, you'll know when our ancestors would get kicked out of the herd, there's a posture. Shame's a posture. And they'd get kicked out, they'd be all by themselves. That's why we also fear inadequacy. And as a adolescent, you're going to move from wanting your herd attachment system's approval to your peers, societal approval. Your brain from 12 to 24, it actively is an adolescent brain, which has a biochemistry that works a certain way, which is why people can easily become addicted to things, which is why it's important to oversee all of children with moderation, not fear-mongering, not yelling at them, not insulting them, not treating them like they should know how to dress in winter or how to eat. No, actually and actively, children get repeated the same things over and over and over again because, like you, as a grown-up too, will need to have repetition. We are all creatures of habit, and that's why a herd that cares about each other keeps each other in a balance with food and sleep. Very basic, not like a soldier. No, that's actually completely control, and that's a whole other story. So right now, I'll wrap it up with, again, it's beautiful to be a feminine and your own masculine, to know that we make the world a better safe for each other and hopefully in time for everyone, because it's secure attachment, functional adults who have the flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, stable brain. Feminine knows of infinite higher human conscious potential experience. So we don't shame our species because of the ancestors and our transgenerational and cultural trauma. Society doesn't actively need the shame button. The only ones who think of that are the same ones who continue to have a trust break towards humanity. So they're the same ones who are still not completely healed. As long as you meet an unhealed feminine, you will find somebody that has still shame. They have still a trust break. They're still healing, and they're looking for people to take their side so that they may then stand together as an in and out group, saying that they have a right to point a finger and nobody told them it's bad manners, or that they're in a shame, blame, fault, revenge little cycle of shame again. So I can spot it when I hear it. I can spot it when I see it. A feminine spots those who are still masculines independently from what they may think they are because they have clairs. You will be a feminine when you know what science and spirituality shares with us. Your contribution to the world is you. How joyful you are, how you live, everything about you. And if you don't know how to be yourself yet because you haven't achieved that sense of self-worth, there's a therapist for you first. In fact, here's where our lovely Sadhguru. Well, first of all, you're a solo self, core self, narrative self, relational self. So let's remember, get a hold of yourself and then bring yourself forward as a person who heals that inner child. So you see you soothe you, you're safe and secure, and you say, hey, I'm Ariel, I got a tail, and I got this shit at home and stuff like that. Huh? You wanna hang out? You wanna build a mer home with me? Come on, build a mer home. I want you to build a mer home with me. So for most people, love means you must do what I want. And a feminine will say, no, love means they can do what they want and we still love them. And then we also know that love is freedom and joy, while attachment is bondage and misery. These are all Sadhgurus. And that if you overflow with humanity, then divinity has to descend, which is where feminine will be like, yep, but sciences helps us to make it grounded so that we don't get lost in any place of, egoic stuff. Thank you, sciences. And the most precious thing is life itself. Will you realize this now or only on your deathbed? Thank you, Sadhguru. And as always, he also shares the greatest gift you can give to another human being is to accept, respect, and love them, which is actively what a feminine knows. Which is why we will always say, you are unconditionally loved and beautiful just the way you are. I don't need to shame you. I will talk to you. And then I will continue to talk to you. And I will nurture you into being because, as again, our Sadhguru, where are you? He has another good quote. This one's about human is not a resource. A human being is a tremendous possibility. With the right nurturing, they will blossom into someone remarkable. And it's so true. And here's the one. Your contribution to the world is you, how you live, how joyful you are. Everything has an impact. The life within you is not there to serve your body, mind, or emotion. The body, mind, and emotion are there to serve life. Seeing everything just the way it is gives you the power and capability to walk through life effortlessly. And so this is a 1-year-old with secure attachment. Every word you utter, every action you take, your very existence, is it for everyone's well-being or is it just about you? And then he says, just fix this one thing, determine the nature of your life. And I love this one too, Bill O'Hanlon, LMFT. It's not enough to ask people about a positive experience. It's about savoring that experience and getting them to stay with it. So when you do heal your inner child and you're a whole person, an inner child adult, that's your feminine, because you got the divine feminine. So all that comes up, you're able to say, hey, this is my heart. And then the left and your divine masculine, hey, this is my thoughts. And there's a differentiated self. And then when you are beautiful for you just this way and another just the way, that's when you're going to meet the one. The one doesn't leave, they just stay. Because it's easy to say, I think, no, I don't think I love you. I think I love you, so what am I so afraid of? No, you're not going to be afraid. The beauty of true self-worth, true self-confidence, true self-empowerment, true everything, TRUE, is that you own the inner child of you and you're an adult. And so you're going to have a good time in all of your relationships. And that's because of being a safe haven, secure base here. So again, you're beautiful just the way you are here at IHP. That's what we do. So it's for self-help, personal development. It's for spiritual and true spirituality at that. It's for stories and fun. It's also to say that we make the world a better place together and we can support each other to heal trauma one person at a time, one relationship at a time. That is thanks to both spirituality and sciences coming together. I love my lovely Jesus and God. I got taught in ways that were only about love. And as for New Age and me finding out that now they're talking about it as Lucifer, well, we'll keep talking about how they just keep blaming and using words versus getting educated. But it's understandable. Not all voices learn everything. That's why Sadhguru, he's a guru. He talks about spirituality. Dr. Daniel Siegel, he talks to you about integration, the mind, relationships, and attachment. I talk to you about a little bit of everything. And we got other people that talk about other stuff. So thank you for stopping by. I look forward to seeing you again. Like, share, and subscribe. And if you know somebody who's interested in our lovely topics, please send them over. We will begin shortly. I'm going to need to sit down and organize my thoughts, but I'm going to allow myself to organize the membership content at a certain point. We are actually at growing, which makes my heart smile. Thank you for the 1,022 as the last time I checked of you who joined us and are joining us. And please, if you have questions out of curiosity, let me know. And then once the membership content is, you'll have options. And thank you so much for being here. Have a great one.